sexy video,
Once you
and
get
it's
to the
called Sugar Ray.
nominate and appoint,
And you know what,
then
it's
you
really
can
strange when you do that,
over the
because down
second year,
here,
wherever.
at the end of the year,
Everybody can see you.
we grow sugar cane,
Mm-hmm.
grow it around, and then they squash it,
Good, how are you?
they take the juice, and they take a big fat.
So I did, I got you.
It's like we do sugar milk, but they got a smaller version, and people make cane syrup, so that's, you know, they're making, they're making maple syrup. Well, I don't know.
You're not supposed to have white out.
Harry is 90, and has two peanut brothers.
Let me check.
It's so funny. I mean, I've seen it done like up in Canada. You know, you know anybody did it down here.
And his mother of all things, after she had the kids,
You know what I mean?
she was 4 years old, she moved to Oklahoma. And she was coming over here to see, he graduated from, Forest High School in Ocala, in '86. And they used to come over here all the weekends. How many times did I pass him?
Probably. What a small world, isn't it? What a small world.
So, what are there, 5 of us? Is that- And how did you get picked? Do you know? Do you know how you got picked to do this?
I submitted an application, and honestly, I'd submitted an application, and it was
2 years ago? At least, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Cursive, looks fine.
So,
I think COVID slowed everything down.
Notarizing your peeps. I did not realize I had the previous date on these, so.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
That was me. These are going in the garbage, so did everything accurate,
did I do everything right the first time?
yes.
I can't believe it.
All right, thank you. Turn this off. I submitted the application. To be perfectly honest, I really don't know. In fact, I really do. It's just that I'm very interested in the history, and I get very upset when I see things destroyed. I mean, I was one of the ones with the Etta camp, you know, that should not be destroyed down there, which I think the Parkway pretty much missed it. You know, you can still see where the old camp was. And I found the pots, you know, and the pots, like you're saying, the maple syrup, well, it was the pine tar. And they used to do, where they,
Time.
yeah, and they used to,
They tapped all the pine trees around
right,
there.
right, and the pot, I found a whole pot. The whole pot.
You would find it, and they would just go down the trees, and they'd have two pieces of tin, and they'd scrape it and put it there, and next year they'd scrape it.
Okay.
And you used to be able to find all these old pine trees, but
They still have the little things on them.
well, they have the things on it, they know what's going on. Had it like a cat's face, because it would just grow out and try to grow around it, it would be.
It's like 100 years ago. It's right here. The funny thing is the pots is, the hole is at the top of the pot, like it's like a regular clay pot that you put plants in. There's no hole in the bottom. Because all of that, turpentine, pine tar would drip into the pot. Pretty cool. I mean, here we found pieces, and one day I found the whole one, and my horse was such an angel, he helped me carry the damn thing home, you know. Yeah, it really, but I only found one hole.
4 is corn.
Yeah, I'm good for right now. But we gotta have a couple more people show up before we have a quorum.
And only one person responded that they weren't gonna be in attendance.
You wanna make sure you are who you are?
Who
is this guy?
Who was that? And then she said she put it straight. So these people are here because their properties have a
You got
chance of
two things here, is for the, I'm gonna put in, I think, a cell
cell
phone tower.
tower. Cell tower is one.
And some guy wants to build on a lot.
Is he converting an old
No,
warehouse?
he's building a house.
It's a new,
So
a
it's
new
Different
build.
city.
So
It'll
the
be new
property,
construction.
okay, so property's empty. It was confusing when I was reading it, you know, it sounded like they're trying to redo
He did a demo, he wants to, put a new house up because it's in the historic district and they have to come for the historic.
Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Mark Hammer.
Mark, hi, I'm Linda.
Hi, Lynn, Melissa Bauermaster. Nice to meet you. I'm sorry?
I ran across your name somewhere somehow. I don't remember where.
What was in the post office?
You're supposed
Oh, yeah, you didn't get it. Sorry.
I'm the director of Jesse's Place, so sometimes you'll see.
That's why. Oh my God, I can't even tell you how many hours I spent out there on my horse.
Thank you.
Oh, they wanna put that,
Appreciate you.
tower, they wanna put right beside the Fernando School.
to, so, yeah. But,
Enough about towers, if they,
What kind of tower they gonna put, like the solid ones,
yourself,
you know what I mean?
yeah, probably the solid.
That doesn't look like a tower, it's got a flag on it.
is there a picture?
It's just, yeah, no, but it's a strange thing about mankind, sometimes you tell somebody about a tower and you don't ever see it.
See that?
Mm-hmm.
The tower and antenna?
So that's the same one they're gonna put there?
No, but this antenna that's behind our courthouse,
Mm-hmm.
on top of the new courthouse, is communication tower.
Pretty non.
But those are gonna be more of a cell phone tower.
Yeah, that's why you use cell phone tower.
Well, they have one, they have one on the way to Christian, it's got white, it's got the flag.
I didn't see a
Not
picture
seeing
of a
like
cell phone
trees.
tower when I was reading
Yeah,
through this
there's,
thing, and I'm looking at the picture of that.
My wife pointed out,
I couldn't figure out what they were doing.
It's really strange because
Looks like we're probably not gonna
mother-in-law
set up
and this
having this
fella
meeting again.
cell phone
We don't
tower,
have a quorum.
and it's like, when you're there, you don't see it.
Like, I think,
Man's
have
not,
three.
you look up,
Right.
man's always looking down and looking.
Yeah. So typically I put my agenda and my sign-in sheet out there, and I typically put their names out where they
they got a cell tower right adjoining that property.
So
Just walking around with lights.
I've got all oaths already notarized, so it's just gonna have to be like stand up and read it out loud. So
There's neat place. Oh, UF, I must have been.
They come up.
And that person didn't.
So if it's like he's showing off the new courthouse, it's just like one single thing that goes up in the air. But if it's one of the old fashioned ones, where it looks like something that's gonna hold up power lines, that's a different story.
Got Kathy Turner.
Seeing the picture.
Kathy Turner.
and I also set up this, which
It's confusing, cause I know I looked at this online, I was trying to figure it out.
okay.
Candace.
Yeah, it sounds like their plans are working.
That's the big thing.
Huh?
That's the big thing, we have the corner. We had issues before when I was on the board, because, you know, we ran out of time to keep on the board. We're now alternatives to that. Which,
Can we elect
Yeah,
Kathy, chairperson, if you give me a seat right here?
That's what happens when you don't show up for the meeting, right?
My wife told me not to do it.
I figured it's tossed between you and her. There's not much to it.
Well, no, she's worked it out, I'm on the Christian time and tenure.
Yeah, I mean, there's not outside activities to,
Was it
Yeah.
20 years?
which is pretty much.
Hey, my chair's going. It's almost like a bumpkin bump.
How often?
It's all right. I'll whip it in the shade.
You got four now.
Because I live on Cardinal.
I'm good.
I'm just at the other end of it.
If you wanna call it to order.
Some of these people waited a long time to get here. Let's get rolling. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I will be calling this meeting to order. I am Mark Hammer, prior chairman, current county liaison. At this time, I'd like to ask everybody to raise, please remove your cover and pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Ms. Easton, we do a roll call, please?
Yes. Present today is Paul Grannon,
Here,
Melissa Bowermaster,
Here?
Lynn Turk,
Here?
Cynthia King. Here. Absent is Walter Bud Osborne, Catherine Turner Thompson, Candace Bella McPherson. We do have a quorum.
Thank you.
For those of you that were here at our first unofficial meeting, I'm gonna ask all four of you to stand up and recite after me, and we're gonna go ahead and do the oath of office. If everybody could raise their right hand. I do solemnly swear that I will support, protect, and defend
I do solemnly swear that I will support, protect, and defend
and defend
the Constitution and government of the United States and the state of Florida,
the Constitution of the
United States
government of the United States and the state of Florida.
and the state of Florida.
that I am duly qualified to hold office
That I am duly
Qualified to hold office
under the Constitution of the state,
under the Constitution of the state,
and that I will well and faithfully perform the duties
and that I will well and faithfully perform the duties
of the Historical Resources and Advisory Board, on which I'm about to enter.
of the Historical Resources and Advisory Board,
advisory board,
of which
which I'm about to enter.
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 Thank you.
amen.
This time we'll be accepting nominations or appointment for chairman and vice chair. Nominations, volunteers, speak up.
Do you want to be nominated?
Yeah, I'll be.
Okay, so I nominate Paul.
All right, so
Ms. King
Lynn,
nominated Paul.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I thought I did too. I'll second it then. Turk.
I'm sorry, Ms. Turk, seconded, firsted and seconded. Do you
Who's
object? Do you
Nope.
accept?
Accept.
now we need a nomination for vice chair.
I'll nominate Kathy Turner Thompson.
We have a second on that, please?
Second.
She does not object.
Now you can turn the floor over to Mr. Grannon, and he can proceed
yours.
to
Uh-oh,
run the show.
You're on number F.
all right. So what are we doing now?
You can do the welcome and introductions. So, because this board is newly forming, getting back off the ground, if we could just take a moment to welcome the citizens and then do a brief introduction about yourself as the board members.
Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate everybody coming in and speaking their mind. That's what we're here for. I am a longtime resident. My family came to Crystal River in 1855, and they came out here when this was Middle Ground instead of Lecanto. So I go back a very, very long ways in this county. Don't let the last name fool you. Our family name is Davis, King, Allen, and Barnes. My mom married a Yankee, but he moved down here. So I've been here ever since. I graduated Crystal River High School in 1967. So I want everybody to feel at ease in here because I'm at ease. And would you like to share a little bit about yourself?
Okay, my name is Cynthia King. I live in Inverness, and I've been in Citrus County since I was 18, and I married a young man from Inverness who was of the King family.
Of the King family.
So we're somewhat related.
Oh, yeah.
Long, long way, but anyway, I graduated from Winter Park High School and also Central Florida Community College. I'm correspondence secretary with the Historical Society in Inverness. And I have a son who is a descendant of the King, so he comes by at ease, but he doesn't live in this county. But anyway, I think that's about it.
Okay. All right,
Lynn?
hi, my name is Lynn Turk. I am not a longtime family resident here. I came here in 1984, and I'm never leaving, and I love it here. So I'll turn it over. I obviously went to high school and college, and then moved down here, opened business, and then got into horses. And anyway, long story. Love it here, and so I'll do anything I can to help keep this place beautiful.
Melissa?
Melissa Bowermaster. I have been here a long time, not quite as long as Paul, but
It's still early.
but Homosassa Elementary, Crystal River Middle, Crystal River High School. I grew up here. I raised my children here. I am a very community-oriented person. I run a local nonprofit organization, serve on multiple boards, but so I firmly believe in giving back to my community. My community means a lot, so this just was kind of a natural fit for me. To help our community be the best it can be, so.
Thank you.
So, these people get working, huh?
Everybody happy?
Yeah, I go
Okay,
great.
well,
Gee,
we're here for business. Let's get down to business.
gee.
We've got a request for a consultation, Roadstar LLC. You want to tell us more about this?
Right, as a formality on the application, this is a cellular tower to be erected in Hernando off of Highway 41 within close proximity to the Hernando Heritage School, which is on the National Registry of Historic Landmarks.
Right.
Given that this will be in the proximity of a historic location, it must come before the board for review. So, here it is for review and discussion.
All right, is anybody here to speak for or against it?
I do have some questions about it. I looked it up and got a picture or on the internet of the location. What is here. And I gathered these circles indicate exactly where the tower will be.
Yes, ma'am.
I feel like at some point, that is gonna be 4-lane. Is that tower going to be, compromise that 4-laning, or is it gonna be in the way?
No, it's out of the way. Of course, that right-of-way's already been deemed right-of-way, so they can't build on the right-of-way. That is, the road is, 41 is a United States road. It's not,
Yes.
it's not a county road. So, all the acquisitions, all the necessary things are in place for that to be that, so they wouldn't, if they were on the right-of-way, they wouldn't be asking us. Right now, they're asking for a variance or for our blessing
Just basically the approval of the board to be able to place the tower there within the
to
proximity of the
place the
historic.
tower there. And I know that area, it's in the middle of a lot of trees. You would only, probably wouldn't see it unless you were right up on it. You'll see it from a distance. And I know that school, I went there when I was, we went and visited over there. We did something about a long time ago. But that whole area, what would you say, it's probably a good 150 feet or 400 feet from, does it say, give us that dimension?
It doesn't give us that dimension, but I would say it's more than an eighth of a mile away.
Okay,
So what
okay.
exactly is it on? Is it on somebody's private property?
It'd be on
Is it-
private property.
So how are they gonna get that thing built? They have to rip down a lot of trees to get there? Do you know?
I'm not familiar with the actual location and what would require for the construction of the tower on that location.
Yeah, there's a road there,
Is there
and,
a road in there to build it? So they
yeah,
don't have
well,
to-
not that I'm a proponent of cell phone towers, but they would just clear enough space.
You would hope.
They're not gonna clear cut it like they did 41
Oh, my
and
God.
44 forever. Don't get me started.
Don't let me
Okay.
started.
So it is just something that they were going to put a cell phone tower there. Which kind, I don't know. I mean, we have several different kinds,
Not
one with
certain.
the steel structure, but as you go on 44, you'll see another one that's a solid white pole. So
But we don't know
we
which
have
one.
no knowledge of that. And with this whole thing, even if we disapprove, that's not gonna stop this, correct?
Correct, because it's an advisory board, not an enforcement board.
Okay, that's just what I thought.
So, and I guess I kind of had the same questions, but so, obviously, they're talking about a tower, but is typically on a tower, there's a cleared area and usually a fenced-in area
Correct.
around that, so do we know what size that would encompass? And there has to be ingress, and egress to actually get to that site,
Repair it.
so where does that, roadway go?
That part is not a review process in which the advisory board would be looking at.
Okay,
Because we're not looking at the construction aspect of it, we're looking at the visual impact that is gonna be created of the tower being erected within the location or area of a historic site.
okay,
So we're not worried about the construction or what's gonna happen at that specific site, but more so the visual
okay.
aesthetics that it's gonna create or lack thereof.
Okay, I was just wondering how, because my thought was if it's, it may be a small tower, footprint wise, but the fenced in area is larger and then they're going to want their roadway or their little driveway to be on the school property or close to the
No,
school,
ma'am.
would that be?
No. No, it's far removed from the school. There's several businesses and locations between the cellular tower site and the school.
Oh, okay.
So our concern is the historical significance of putting this tower in
The
its
visual
location.
aesthetics that you're gonna be looking, the possibility of maybe seeing this tower from the location of the historic school.
It sounds like it's
The
one of those
impact
things.
that will have.
Oh, okay.
Not sure how we
Yeah.
can really judge that without knowing whether it's gonna be a straight up or a big wide tower. I mean, we have no picture. How do
Well,
we
it's-
know?
In the
got the-
backup documentation, it states that it's a 255-foot self-support communication tower with overall height of being 265 feet within a 1,652 square foot leased area.
Yep, so that's a quarter of an acre. that we're gonna
Right,
take
so
away.
that's right, so is that entire area going to be
4,350,
like fenced and cleared?
yeah.
And then they talked about the 30-foot wide easement, which is why, obviously for ingress and egress, right?
Yeah, but.
But we don't know where
yeah.
that will,
But that's not gonna be an impact of visual, that's not gonna impact the historic site in itself.
okay.
Right,
All
right,
right.
because if you're looking at the school, you're coming down on 486 and everything, if you see the school, you're not gonna see this tower. And coming from the other way, you cannot see the school because of the trees. And you don't know until you get there that the place is there, so.
Yeah, that's the same question I have with the
Right.
tower. If you can't, if every tree isn't knocked down in order to put this tower up, then there's no problem.
All right,
to me.
so, should we have a vote on it? Approve, disapprove, we need more information.
So,
I think you-
in my, because I'm just learning, so, we would technically vote to make a recommendation that we have no,
Correct.
issues? Okay.
There should be a formality of a call to motion, and then a vote as to approve, disapprove, or other action.
Okay,
Well, I mean, it's on private property, it's surrounded by trees, and those trees are pretty significant, pretty big trees there, everything else. And I don't see a problem. I don't. If anybody sees a problem, let me know. Okay,
well, I would think if there's multiple businesses between that and the school
yes,
site and this, then
yes, yes. I mean,
it'd be hard for us to say. that
there's
this is-
there's a big buffer zone
Call the vote.
between the two.
But these people-
So, all in favor of approving it, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, we got 4 O's. Anybody?
So do you need an official motion?
We need an emotion.
motion.
Stating that
I'll
you
make a
would like
motion
to-
to approve.
Okay,
I'll second it.
Discussion?
No.
Discussion from the audience?
Does somebody have some in the audience to say? Okay. All right, let's get on to other business. And this is a building that has been requested. I believe you had some information for us. Yes, sir? What's your name?
Hi, Albert Caponegro. I bought a lot back in, was it October? I think it was October. And I'm looking to build a small two-bedroom, two-bath home for me and my 93-year-old mother. I've been here in Citrus County since December '05. And I've been out in Floral City the last 3 years. And I'm looking to get a smaller house for me and Mom to take care of Mom.
can I get the spelling of your last name, please?
Yes, ma'am. It's like a baseball cap on your head, Caponigro.
You said it was a two-bedroom,
Yeah, it's small. It's under 1,000 square feet. I think about 950 square feet, a two-bedroom, two-bath home with an office or den or bedroom. I'm not sure how they'll consider that. But I'm in a large house in Floral City, and it's just way too big for me. I'm disabled. I'm the only surviving son taking care of my 93-year-old mom, and I need something more economical and smaller for us to live in. So I found the lot, and my understanding is there was a migrant farmhouse on the property. And my understanding is someone said they didn't like all the migrant workers living there. Ferris Farms owned it, was my understanding. And the people were rowdy, and a neighbor decided to burn down the house because the people in the house were drinking beer, playing music all night long, urinating in the yard. So a neighbor got upset, set the house on fire, and so he got arrested, my understanding, and he went to jail for doing that. So I think that happened in, if I'm not mistaken, 2010 or 11. The property had a new septic tank put in it, I think, 2008. And then they applied for a permit to, how would you say, demolish the house and take it away, the burnt remains of it in 2013. So it's been an empty lot, my understanding is, since 2013.
Are you gonna build a home, or is this a manufactured home?
No, it's not a manufactured home. It's a wooden structure home. It's not a conversion, yeah, but it's not a manufactured home. No, it's not that. My understanding is it's rated to withstand winds up to 185 miles an hour.
Okay.
And so it's a complete wood structure home, but it's not a mobile home. Mobile homes are approved by Department of Transportation, DOT, and they have titles. This is a home manufactured from wood.
Okay.
So it's a completely, now it has to be up off the ground because of the flood elevation. So it is gonna be on blocks. In fact, there's a neighbor's house, the old-fashioned houses, the cracker-style houses were raised up on blocks. So this has a wood foundation. It doesn't have a concrete foundation. So it is gonna be elevated, I think, 3 feet above the ground for the flood of it, is my understanding.
Are you in a floodplain there?
I don't know, but that's the rules for the building department here. So we did it according to what the building department said the elevation of the home has to be at.
So there's some historical significance to this lot?
My understanding, yeah.
Yes.
All right,
So
so
what's the
let me-
question here?
Mind if I interject and
Yes,
give
please.
background here for a
Yeah,
little bit?
please.
Let me give you some background on the historical nature of Floral City and then why this discussion is before the board. Floral City is designated as a historic overlay district. With that, any construction or permit applied for within the historic overlay district must come before the Historical Resource Advisory Board for review. As part of the Historical Preservation Ordinance that was written and created, which gave the county a CLG designation, Certified Local Government Designation, which is not a local government entity. That was created, it's a name that's horrible. But what that does, that gives the county recognition on a national and state level, state and national level, for its historic preservation, because we have a historic preservation ordinance. Within that ordinance, it is encouraged that anyone who builds within a historic overlay district try and satisfy a Florida vernacular in appearance. Florida vernacular in appearance is actually a house or home style unique to Florida with the Florida aesthetics to it, the raised floor, the porches, the two-sloped roof. That's Florida vernacular. And that's what is encouraged to be within the historic overlay districts. So,
And that's the design. It has that, the porch, everything, the way he described it is how the plans of the home are laid out, exactly as he just said.
and that's why this discussion is before the board, because it is a historic overlay district, and we're trying to maintain that.
Well, if he's complying with that, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well,
You know, I don't see,
wait a minute,
huh?
wait a minute.
Okay.
He's asking you if he's complying with it. You don't ask him, he asks you.
Oh, what you just said that, okay, I'll ask you, is he complying with this, with the Florida?
It would be my
vernacular?
opinion, with the information that's given, yes, I would feel that that complies with Florida vernacular, given the elevated
Right.
floors that you would find in the old cracker houses. And that's part of what it's trying to maintain an appearance of cracker house, so you don't, it doesn't
Correct.
stand out like an industrial building in the middle of a historic zone.
Well, they built, all the homes in Citrus County were always built up. And even in Lake Canto, where there is no floodplain, the reason you built them up, because you built on the ground, termites would eat you up. And that's exactly, they raise everything else to keep them from being down below and everything else. So,
Just
before we
curious.
make anything, does anybody want to speak on his behalf or speak against this?
Is Just have a quick question. Is it a modular? Is that what it is?
No,
No,
ma'am.
no, no, no. it's- we- we-
No, I know it's not, a movable.
Well, if, and it's, there again is the question,
By definition, this would be a single-family dwelling.
single family.
So it's not modular,
It's not
a
modular,
kit
no.
or whatever.
Not
Okay.
modular and everything else.
Okay,
And
sounds fine.
it's replacing the crack house, so, I mean, we're,
Cracker.
okay.
But I was told there's one of those houses around the corner from me, which is a little disturbing,
Oh,
where they sell the drugs, is my understanding, so I'm kind of not too happy about that, but
Yes.
hopefully I'll improve the neighborhood and,
well, you know what you're getting into, right?
well, yeah,
Okay.
Well, Mr. Caponegro, even though you're building it up, how many feet off the ground is it gonna be?
I think it's 30 inches or 30, whatever the ordinance is, it's set at that, I'm not exactly
Okay.
sure to the inch,
Are
but I
you gonna
know.
have a slab under?
No, ma'am.
Not at all?
No, it's got a foundation, it's got a,
Piers and columns.
yeah, he can
Yeah.
explain.
Piers
that.
and columns,
Oh, okay,
stacked blocks.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. So concrete blocks.
Yeah, and there is what they call a concrete runner or foundation that runs under the ground that allows it to hold all the weight, so it doesn't
Settle.
settle. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But to your knowledge, is it a wet ground? I mean, you're in,
No, I mean, no, I haven't seen it soaking wet, like, some would be like muddy and muck. No, I haven't seen that.
are you near water? Are you near the
No,
lake?
no.
I know there's a lake or two down there,
No,
but you're not near the lake.
no, ma'am.
Okay.
And I haven't seen the ground soaking,
You've been
Wet,
there
I just-
during rainy season?
well, I've been there since October, so, but even if it was, being up, hopefully that's not.
We've
That
had a
prop-
lot of rain?
That property's not gonna hold water.
No.
That property will not hold water.
Okay, so you're confident it's a good sound
Well,
ground? and-
Yeah, because the neighbor, his house is a little lower, they've been there 40 years, so I spoke with the neighbor, and his is maybe 6 inches to a foot lower than mine, and he didn't say anything, him and his wife didn't say anything about any flooding, and they're just maybe 300 feet away from me.
On the lake. They're on.
Okay, I didn't know, I guess there's a lake, I didn't know they were on a lake, but, so if there's on a lake, obviously the lake is lower than their land, so.
All right.
Any other comments?
Say, well, and certainly, houses on the crawl space were very popular in years past, and they're still pretty popular now, so I don't think it's anything unusual to have a house built on a crawl space, particularly a wood frame house, but, and it does look like you're, according to the house plan, utilizing something that works, and I'm assuming that the exterior of the house is going to be wood siding or wood look siding?
Yes,
par-
ma'am. Yes,
party
ma'am.
board or some sort of wood look siding?
Yes, ma'am.
So aesthetically, it's certainly, I don't have any necessarily concerns about it fitting into the age and the concept of maintaining the heritage of the community. So.
Any other comments?
Good.
Do y'all have any comments from the audience?
Any objections?
Yes, sir?
If I could, I don't hear real well, been around a lot of loud noises in my life. If y'all could use your microphone to help me a little, thank you.
How about this? I got a real big mouth. All right, all right. My wife always said I was a loud mouth,
Testing,
but,
1, 2.
I'm just asking for any comments from anybody. Yes, ma'am?
My name is Deb Infantine, and I've been a realtor in Citrus County for 45 years. And I'm a neighbor, I live in the neighborhood also. And these homes, the homes that he's building, these type of homes, are already approved with the county the way they're being built. And so there's no concern there. They just, like what you said, I don't know the exact words, but the appearance.
The aesthetics.
Yes, so it will fit in with the neighborhood.
Right.
Yes.
Oh,
So
that's-
it's, and there's nothing concerning. Already has a septic tank, city water. He's already been through all the architect stuff and the building stuff and all of that. So it's just that you guys are okay with the appearance
Right.
of it. Right?
My hearing aid's picking up something.
These are being built all over the county, everywhere.
Okay. Well, I mean, the only reason it came to us is because of the designation of Floral City
Yeah, it's not the construction method,
Right.
it's the appearance only.
at all, and it'd be aesthetically, so. Would you ready to vote?
I'm ready to vote.
We need motion.
Motion.
I make a motion that we vote in favor of this house.
I'll second it.
Second, all, everybody said aye.
Aye.
No discussion.
Huh?
Any discussion?
I don't have it. Do you have any more?
Didn't ask them.
Oh, does anybody else have?
Now you can vote.
They keep shaking their head no, so.
Now
Come
you
on,
can-
give me something here. Okay, all right. Yeah, all right,
now
so,
you can vote.
all right, so it's passed. We voted 4-0,
Okay,
say yeah, approve.
there you go.
Good.
Good.
Thank you guys so much. I
You're welcome.
appreciate it. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
Need any help with those neighbors, let me know.
Well, we're all coming out to take a look.
Yeah. Okay, it's my first, okay,
That's it. It's open to the public.
we're open to the public? Okay. Step right up,
Good afternoon. How are you guys doing?
great.
My name's CJ Hoyt, and I'm the president of the HOA for Gulf Breeze Shores. And I'm here following up on a meeting that I had with Ms. Eason and Mr. Hammer back in October. I'm not sure the protocol here, but I did put together a presentation. We would like to actually ask the board's blessing to designate a historic sign on our property, to give it a historic designation. So I don't know if this is the forum to actually give you guys a short presentation about what we're asking for, but I don't know, Mark, if you get Mr. Hammer.
You're here, I'm here, they're here.
Yep,
Okay, great. So I also have one of our board members who is a longtime resident of this area, Mr. James Sparkman, with me here. And we would like to just show you guys what we're asking for. Just want to give you a little bit of background on the initiative that we're going for here, as well as some background on our current property in GBS, which is Gulf Breeze Shores, and the history there, as well as a little bit of history on the sign, and get your insight here from the board for a path forward. So Gulf Breeze Shores is located actually in Inglis, Florida. We're the northernmost part of Citrus County, so the map over there with the big red star, that's about where we're located. We're on the south side of the Withlacoochee River, just west of US 19. We have 40 waterfront lots that were replatted in 2019, and I say that because there's a long history of this property there. There was a different plat back in 2006, so it was 50 lots back then, and now it's back to 40. We have 31 riverfront lots and 9 canal lots, and we also have 4 HOA-owned DREs. And then the roads, the roadsides, and the additional DREs are actually owned by Citrus County. They will be handed over to Citrus County. Right now, we have 3 properties in various stages of building, and the HOA, which is all volunteers, there's 4 board members, 3 active board members right now, and we've been basically managing the HOA since May of 2021 when it was handed over from the developer. We're working very hard to be stewards of the environment and keep the Florida native ecosystem intact. And then in doing research on the property, we actually discovered the history of the land. Actually, that's thankful to Mr. Sparkman here. And we looked into some historical preservation and what we could do to do that with our current sign and the property there.
Can I interrupt you a moment?
Yes.
I don't know what a DRE is.
That is a drainage retention easement.
Okay.
So those are basically, actually, go ahead to the next slide. And, oh, perfect. Very good segue. Thank you.
okay.
So this map here is the improvement plan that was done in 2019. And there's a couple DREs in there that are owned by the HOA. And then there's some that are owned by the county. So it's kind of a shared, I can show you where they are if you're interested.
That's okay, I know
Drainage
what they
easements,
are.
okay.
I just didn't know the designation of a DRE.
Absolutely. And then the area in question that we're going to be talking about here is over next to US 19 on that far side. So that's why I put that map there. But go ahead to the next slide. So the history, a little bit of history of this property, like I said, we realized this when we started digging into it. It's the site of the former Withlacoochee River Lodge from 1945 to 1960. It was a hunting and fishing camp owned by Dessie Smith Prescott. I think you guys probably know a lot more about her than I do, so
Yes,
just a few.
She was a hunting buddy of Marjorie Kennan Rollins.
Exactly, right. And thanks to
I've met her.
Awesome. Thanks to Mr. Sparkman here, we have a couple copies of these books if anybody's interested in more information. But that's,
Well, Sparkland is an old family name from this area.
Yeah, but I'm not.
Oh, you're not? Okay.
We're married.
Marion County? Well, that's okay.
but he lives, he has property here now. So I think you guys probably know Dessie was a Central Florida native. She was inducted into the Florida Women's Hall of Fame, and she was the first woman issued hunting and fishing licenses here in Florida. So there's actually remnants of the structures that remain on our properties, a lot of the individual lots, but also on the HOA-owned track in the front where I was pointing to earlier, where the lodge was, also cabins and cottages. There's remnants of those and the Florida lime rock there as well. So the original sign, which is the reason we're here today, is also from the Withlacoochee River Lodge, still remains there. So this is the sign that we are looking to designate historical in an effort to preserve a piece of history here in Citrus County. So you can see there's a picture of the sign there, but if you want to go to the next slide. These are some pictures that we took from out of this book. So that's the business card that Dessie used for the Withlacoochee River Lodge. You can go ahead to the next slide. And there's a picture of the sign and US 19 and the lodge as it was back in the 40s, I think that picture was.
That's not there anymore at all?
Well, the sign's still there, and that's what but the actual structures are not. So if you want to go to the next slide. There's another picture. So that one says Dessie's Withlacoochee River Lodge in 1948 with rental cottages in the original office. So that's right off of US 19. And again, that's the spot where the sign still is. If you can go to the next slide, please. This is a historic postcard showing that as well. And then the very next one will take you kind of, whoops. All right, so this is the sign that is now here with the same columns and the pipe at the top. Go ahead to one more next slide and it'll kind of wrap it all up. So that is the sign that was there in these historic pictures. And go ahead, one more. And this is the details. So when you look at the sign that was in the pictures there and the sign that's there, Mr. Sparkman has done a lot of research speaking to locals and the local knowledge, which you guys can probably say better, is that the sign has remained basically the same since the 50s. It's built on a solid foundation. It's withstood all the tests of time and weather events. Based on the historical photos that we have in the book here and we've found online, the side columns are the same block construction. The pipe on the top is the same. And the actual Florida lime rock fieldstone that's used on the columns is the same that's throughout the property, and it was actually the same that was in front. So we figure they just covered the columns with that. So our goal is not just to preserve the historical structure, but to preserve the nostalgia and part of the history that went with the Withlacoochee River Lodge and with Dessie Smith Prescott. So go ahead to the next one.
Well, who gives the final yes or no to them? I mean, they're applying for it.
You guys?
The board would put your recommendation forward if you wanted to make such, if you want to make such a motion, the board would make the motion and it'd go before the commissioners for the commissioners to make a proclamation.
Oh. Any questions?
And there's one more. You can,
Okay.
I'll wrap it up. So we did meet with Ms. Katu earlier today, and she has given the blessing to move forward. This is actually on our land, so the sign is on HOA-owned property, and it's was non-conforming previously. So all we need is a permit to renovate it. So those dimensions are there just for your knowledge, but if you want to go to the next slide. We've done some, the path forward here, we would like to restore and renovate it, basically by carefully pressure washing the lime rock, regrouting the stonework, refinishing and painting the top support pipe, and actually constructing a new sign board or something that's maybe slats that's similar to the original that says Gulf Breeze Shores, our name of our development, and then site of former Withlacoochee River Lodge owned by Desi Smith Prescott, or something similar to that to give nostalgia and pay tribute. Additionally, we'd like to add some kind of placard with a tribute to Desi and maybe a brief history of the lodge. So that was another question we had, is if, we don't know if there's any grant money or anything that would help to kind of fund this, because we are all volunteers, and we'd like to do whatever we can to preserve this. But if you guys have any ideas for that, we'd certainly be open to that. And then we did a few mock-ups, if you want to just go to the next one. So here's an example of, what something could look like. There's one, there's a little placard down.
Placard in the bottom, yeah.
To put, that's not her, but that's one we found to give an example of what it would look like. And then, go ahead, there's another one that just kind of a different background. And then the last one shows just another example that is more similar to the actual sign that was there. And then with that, I think is the next one is, that's it. I don't know if I was within my 3 minutes, but thank you guys for letting me go over.
Well,
Well, I do have one question, and again, I'm still learning a lot. I love the idea of saving the past and recognizing the history, but if you have it designated as a historical sign, does that then preclude you from making changes to put in place your vision? If it's designated as a historical place, and there are going to be restrictions on what you can do and how much you can change it. So I'm just wondering if
that's a
what
good
you're asking
question.
for
I don't know
may
if Mr.
ultimately
Hammer has any ideas on that.
curtail your plans.
Thank you. That's a good point.
Thanks.
Sorry, I'm not supposed to.
No, that's great. I appreciate that.
There are different categories. Let me start with that. There's different categories to be recognized for a historical designation. So the construction today of that sign and that sign itself would not, and I don't mean to be speaking out of turn, but would not necessarily be what deems that the historical, or give it the historical significance. Mm-hmm. The pillars, the construction thereof, the land, the site, the use, the originality, and the forefront of what that sign represented would be the historical designation. The idea of Desi Prescott Smith, who she was, what she stood for, the property itself could receive the local designation. It would also qualify for a national designation. National designation is much more involved. Okay. Local designation can be done within this room and then sent before the commissioner. The actual construction and visual presentation that's there today is not going to be what the designation is specific to.
Okay.
If that is what the board deems it to be. I would feel I would think that it would be better served not to give the designation itself limited to just the sign, but the sign to be the icon of the designation.
Okay.
Because there's much more to Miss Prescott Smith than just that sign.
Hold up.
Sure.
The sign could be the emblem or the icon of the designation. But if a designation is presented, I think it should be for Miss Prescott and that property itself.
Okay.
Now with that, once the national, now again, this is national designation, not local. Local is nowhere, doesn't have the stringent oversight that national does. With a national historic preservation designation, doesn't preserve anything.
Oh.
So, for example, the Masonic Building in downtown Inverness, three-story Masonic building, that has national, that's on the National Registry.
Right.
It could be bulldozed tomorrow.
Well, that's kind of disappointing. All right.
It is, but it also has to do with the owners and with what the owner wants to do. In the state of Florida, government shall not interfere with a person's personal property rights.
Correct.
Okay.
So, therefore, that building can be bulldozed if that owner decides to do so. They cannot be stopped. This is an advisory board, not an enforcement board.
Right.
As much as I hate to say it, and I don't say it outside this room, but that's the duties of this board,
Okay.
as an advisory capacity.
Oh.
It is to the owners of such structures and projects and lands to take it upon themselves to reach to the highest standards that they possibly can for the preservation.
Okay.
It is for the board to encourage such actions.
Yes, so,
I have a question.
Yes.
Did you not say that this was over the bridge? It's in Levy County?
So it's in the
No.
very top edge of Citrus.
No.
Over the bridge is Levy. So you guys have the south side of the Withlacoochee, and Levy has the north.
we're still in Citrus County.
Oh, it is still in Citrus County?
Correct.
We're
Yes.
south, we're south of the Hoochie Coochie.
Probably the-
As we say.
Well, I was wondering, why are you coming here if it was over the bridge? I
Nope.
thought I heard you say it was
No.
over the bridge.
No, it's on this side over the bridge. And I'm sorry if I confused you. No, it's on the Citrus County side of US 19.
We're south
Okay.
of that.
Gotcha.
So, and I think it's a wonderful presentation, and I think what
Thank
you're
you.
trying to do is great too.
Thank you.
And if I'm not mistaken, she owned a ranch as well, the Wahoo Ranch.
Yes.
I've been there,
Yes.
so
And did you want to?
I'm just too old.
We have an extra
sometimes.
copy of this book if anybody would like to see it or borrow it or have
Yeah,
it.
I'm gonna look it up, so.
Yeah.
I like to give you all this.
I
and pass
have-
it around or whatever.
Yeah.
If I could just say something real quick.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'll
Yeah, originally, here, just hand it to him.
State your name, Mr. Sparkman.
Originally, I'm James Sparkman, and I was born in LaBelle. Y'all probably don't know where that is,
I
but
know
I grew up
exactly where it is.
in Ocala area, Marion County. And I've lived here my whole life. I'm Florida cracker. I love Florida. I love everything about it. And anyway, I moved to Inglis about a little over 9 years ago, and I don't even go back to Ocala anymore. But anyway, it's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful area. I live in Levy County. I bought the property across the river because it was starting to get developed, which is in this subdivision, because I didn't want it to get developed. And so I'm paying a lot of taxes. My sister's lived in this county for, I think, about 40, I don't know, I can't count that, 48 years, I think. She's been married, lived in this county and teaches swimming. Her name's Peppy now. But anyway, so when I first found out about this, I found out about it, I'm ashamed to say, from a northerner, and he told me about it, and he showed me a book that somebody had loaned him, so I started talking about it, and some people didn't think much of the sign, but I thought a lot of it, and and she's my hero, and she's just absolutely amazing. I've read tons of information about her, and she was absolutely, she's in the Women's Hall of Fame. But anyway, so we moved forward with, we're trying to save, and our subdivision is really all about the trees and the deer and the turkey, and unfortunately the hogs for those people that want pretty yards. But,
Yeah.
but it's got all that, and it's just beautiful. We don't want people to cut down trees. They're not supposed to be cutting down a bunch of trees. We want to preserve what's there. And so that's really, this sign is about the same thing, except that there's not the hunt, we're still fishing, but there's not the hunting going on there now. But, to me, it's well worth saving. She was a big part. I don't think she gets enough recognition. There's a park named after her. Nobody ever knows what it is, but she was an absolute amazing person and did some amazing things, including, she was the first one to get a pilot's license in Florida. I think the second one in the nation. She served in World War II. She had a hog farm in Tampa. I've been almost every place she did. I've either hunted or fished. I'm sure that my father may have met her in passing at some point. He grew up in Pasco County. But, so this is very important to me, and I don't want it torn down. I want it preserved, but if we can't use it, then we can't really justify doing all this. And we've been working on this for, almost 2.5 years, been waiting for a meeting, because COVID and quorum and all that kind of stuff. So, and we went through a couple of people here, but I just appreciate Florida. I appreciate old Florida. It's disappearing, if you hadn't noticed. I'm sure you have, people that have lived here for even 10 years. And I'm just trying to preserve a little bit of something. So that's all. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay.
Y'all can keep that book,
All right. Are you ready to take a vote?
pass it around
This
or
is-
whatever. It's very interesting. Like that.
This vote is just to approve the sign, and that's it, and that's what we're talking about, it's approving a sign, correct?
Give it,
No.
It's whatever the motion is.
Right, but it's to designate that historical aspect of that sign, keep it the
Well-
way it is, and put up a sign that,
I make a motion, we go with the path forward to restore and renovate the current sign.
sign.
And with their HOA that they're going to do. And everything that she has underneath here, what they want to, they're gonna pressure wash the lime rock, regrout stonework, refinish and paint top support pipe. Saying Gulf Breeze Shores. This is the path forward. We all have this, so. And if it needs a blessing, I'll be.
Can I ask
I
it one,
provide,
just
but I'll
have one
make a
question?
motion, and I just want to make sure that I make the motion in the right.
So we have a
Wait.
motion on the floor. It will need to be seconded
Yes.
and then voted.
Sorry, don't mean, but I don't, and Mark, please school me, I'm just trying to, but I don't think we would want to make a motion that gives them specific direction or approves something specific about their sign. I think we want to make a motion that gives them historical designation to their property, and they can do the sign as they see fit, keeping in, in line with that historical designation.
Thank you.
That makes a lot more sense, thank you.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, and what I was doing was my duty is to sit here and represent the county as the liaison. I had sat over there for 6 years, so I know that end of it, and I want y'all to carry on what I couldn't do. But at the same time, I still am going to step up if there's something that I think is different. And with what you started out saying, Mr. Grannon, was you wanted to move forward with the path to restore and renovate the current sign and do what we could do.
Right.
We cannot take that path. We, the board, cannot take that path.
Okay.
As the board, you could approve for them to take their own action. We take no action as far as the physical aspect of it. We can grant them the permission to do as they wish to do.
Yeah, well, can we do just the first part? Just restore and renovate?
You can give them the board's blessing to restore and renovate.
Okay.
But it would be my suggestion as a board to give them your blessing, but at the same time, make a motion to approve in some nature a local designation in some manner to that property, structure, or site.
Okay, so she really asked them for two things.
She's asking for one thing plus a blessing.
Just a blessing, okay. Well, we'll give her a blessing, I just wanna figure out how to.
How to word it.
The motion should be along the lines of, moving forward with a motion to grant or designate local historical significance
Okay,
to property, structure, location
right.
of historical matter. I'm trying to guide you.
You wanna make a motion?
Okay, I will make a motion that we, recommend, historical designation of the property, location, and there was a third one in there?
I would say that probably the location should be limited to the original structure
Sure.
of
Of the
the
sign.
office and sign
Yes.
location.
Historical designation of the original, property, location, of the sign, and the location of the original sign and property. We get that right?
Office property.
Office property, okay.
Do we have a second?
I second.
Discussion among board members?
Yeah, any discussion?
No further discussion.
Ready for a vote?
Discussion for the floor?
All in favor, say aye.
One question,
Oh.
just one quick question. You said the office? What is the office?
The office is the,
Still there?
the immediate front area, the location
Okay.
of the office and
'Cause the-
sign.
And
The
that,
office is
that
not
won't
there.
preclude us from doing landscaping up there, right?
No.
Because that's what Joanne, Mrs. Couture said, okay.
Okay. So there isn't an actual physical office, there,
Because,
just where it
and-
used to
No.
be?
And
It's just where it used to be.
just the
Okay.
location of the office and sign, and the reason that I would like to limit it to the location of the office site and sign is because there's 100-something acres. So that's why we're gonna limit it to just the office
that
area
section.
and sign. 'cause
And those
if
are
you say-
privately owned back there, right? So
But
they would-
it's the properties.
Right.
If we need to limit it to a specific property, because if it's not limited to a specific property, then it's gonna be all properties.
Track C, is that what it is there? Yeah, track C, I think.
Did it show on that up there?
Yeah, or what you're saying is fine. No, it's track C, it's the,
All right,
Where the
on that
sign is.
motion and second, let's have a
Just have
vote.
that final
Melissa?
discussion.
We're voting on that.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye,
I,
okay. All opposed?
I said aye.
Okay.
thank you very much, thank you.
All right.
Okay, so
Thank
that
you,
will
guys.
be, that'll be moved forward to the commissioners. I don't know when, but it'll be moved over to them to review and have their voice.
Okay, and then, do we, yeah, what's the next step for us?
I'll call you.
Okay, yeah.
We'll figure it out.
And if you need some more language for the, or verbiage for the motion, I think it's track C, but I'll confirm that for you.
Okay.
Thank you very much, appreciate the time.
Desi, Desi would be happy.
That's
I
good.
met, I met
That's
her
what
in
we want.
1957,
Wow, that's awesome.
yeah. My uncle had a little bar in Crystal River at a Texaco station.
Well, can we put one there next time?
Yeah, yeah, well, that'd be nice. We have no more public input? All right, staff comments?
That's me.
Okay,
So there is, this is, by the way, congratulations, that's the first, local historic designation that has went before the board, something I have been trying to do for a while, and I missed out on. I spoke before about the Lecanto Fairgrounds, that's not gonna be an option for local designation, there's a couple more places that I had in mind for local designation, they'll be brought forward later. There are a couple of things I'd like to get before the board, but a lot of this has to be worked out and worked into it.
Okay.
One is survey of historic properties with cooperation of the National Park Service through a grant. Like to discuss that a little more in detail. And some of the local designations to be given. It would be good for the board at some point to maybe meet with, I want to say the Daughters of the Revolution, Confederate, DAR. They do a lot of historical signs.
Right.
They designate a lot and they donate a lot of historical signs. I think it would behoove us as a board to discuss with them and see what they have in mind, and maybe perhaps work with them and see if we can create a partnership working with them, because they are involved a lot.
They do. They showed up and helped me clean up the cemetery in Lake Canto.
They've done that several times. Kathy's a member of that.
And they also designated the
Yeah.
sign for the Hernando Heritage School. There's several signs that they've done, but I think that that's of interest. And there is a Florida Trails program of historical trails. There are several in the state of Florida. One of them is the Seminole Nation Trail, Indian Trail. There's different trails and they have designations. I would like to see about perhaps getting one worked out for the phosphate mines with the railroads and the Orange Canal system through Floral City, how that worked into the railroad system, how that then went between Brooksville and Ocala and Marion County, and how that grew our area through Floral City. I think that's something that'd be interesting to look into, but that's future stuff.
Well, I have lots of information on that. My great-grandfather, John W. Davis, was the superintendent of the phosphate mines in 1892. So,
He
yeah.
bought.
he did a lot of stuff with the trains and everything going through there.
And then that's the reason that I bring it forward is the phosphate and citrus industry pretty much developed our county. And that's a big mainstay is the rail system, the canal system, and Floral City, and that was a huge part of Citrus County. And
Oh, yeah.
while the availability is there, and we have a good board right now that's willing to work with or recognize a lot of these historical things in its nature, we take advantage of it. And with the new board and a full board, I think they
Right.
really take advantage of it. Just need to work through a couple of things and
Oh, yeah.
move forward.
Well, I think the DAR would make great partners in this. They do a lot, so something to consider.
So that's staff.
When's our next meeting?
We need to figure that out. Are we going to,
Well, I enjoy meeting.
What is-
Why is it every 3 months? Or
2.
Is that up to us?
It's supposed to be every 2 months, just because.
Okay.
so I can look at the calendar and we can get that day scheduled for June?
June 3rd. Now, the
This
chairman,
room is not available June 3rd. It would be available, on June 10th. Or the 5th.
The 10th works better for me. I'm out of state at a conference the week before, but do we typically have like a regularly scheduled, like the first Monday of every month?
Yes, unfortunately, the room calendar got full before we were able to reconvene the HRAB,
Okay.
so we kinda have to, but typically, I would have the room reserved for the entire year, for the first Monday of every month.
That'd be nice.
and that's part of the working through things.
Yeah.
Because we had not met officially for a little more than 2 years, the systematic part fell apart. This room was auto-reserved every 2 months on Monday at 4 o'clock for the HRAB, but since the inactivity for the last 2 years, it got filled in. So now we gotta regain the spots.
So
We gotta fight to get back in.
We missed June 3rd already, so how about, you said June 10th then?
June 10th,
So
Okay.
that's good. Very good,
Okay.
June 10th.
and then we can go to
August,
It'll be August 5th.
August the 5th,
That works, yeah.
and I already have that room reserved for that person somehow. There.
Okay, so then I'll just have it repeat.
And then, October 7th,
Would be the
if
next
that's
one.
good with everybody?
On-
Yes.
Yes,
For me,
yes.
I ain't going nowhere.
And then,
And then it would be December 2nd or 9th.
we'll have to do either, well, the 11th is a holiday, the Tuesday the 5th or Wednesday the 6th, because the room's not available on
What month are you?
December, or I'm sorry, November. Hold on.
November.
Get to December.
Should be
So
October
December.
and then December?
Yeah, December,
Okay, so we
Second.
got June, August,
October 7th.
October, and then December, correct?
Yes,
Correct.
December
Um,
2nd or 9th, those would be the Mondays.
We can do December the 9th.
Okay, so we'll move the 2nd to the 9th.
And that'll take us through the year.
Yes.
okay,
I'll get a calendar of events.
I think that's
um,
good
Ready for the
for right
next
now.
board meeting and, get these rooms reserved, get the room reserved.
Okay.
Is there anything written down about the duties of the board here? Procedures or,
There's not a
I mean, you
procedure.
have gone through a lot of things because you sat here on the board,
I
a
gave
lot of
you,
things that we don't know.
This, right?
I gave you a copy of the,
Bylaws.
bylaws and
Bylaws.
everything in the last meeting,
Okay.
Cynthia.
Okay.
And that should have the duties and procedures.
In here.
Yes, yeah, this one, the big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're just all trying to ride this bicycle together.
You got it, you got it.
I'm sure we'll do well.
Have to adjourn.
I call this meeting adjourned. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, don't go away, I want to talk to you.